Hello, everyone. We are here for some Week 15 FanDuel defenses. Pretty excited to talk about this today. No, I'm really not, actually. Defenses stink, but they are a necessary evil to our fantasy scoring. So how's it going, Jason?
Doing good. We get some cheap defenses this week.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Cheap defenses, baby. So getting into cash games. Um, you know, Ravens coming off a really tough performance against a really tough Patriots team at home. Much different vibe this week against the Eagles. 4,700 on FanDuel. What are you looking at?
Yeah, once again, Baltimore's priced just kind of like a mediocre defense. So obviously, you're going to get a good cafe value, which they're one of our top ones already this week. And also just in a much better spot at home. Baltimore's in a must win situation, which is also something that I'm looking at for defenses this week. I want teams that are having something to play for, and that's certainly Baltimore with that division up in the air. And also Carson Wentz, has finally looked like a rookie QB basically over the last 6, 7 weeks or so. Turned the ball over quite often. Baltimore, obviously, their weaker spot is the passing game, but I'm not particularly worried. Vegas has them at just a 17 team total. It's one of the lower ones of the week. So, relatively well in this one.
Certainly agree with that. I think we're gonna, take a hard look at that one for sure. Other one you have here, Packers 4,500. Obviously they had that 3 game stretch where they were just giving up loads and loads and loads of passing yards. But this is a much different team the last 2 weeks, facing a Bears team with Matt Barkley as their starting quarterback. Uh, that's your introduction.
Yeah, basically, as you mentioned, it's been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing with the Packers this season. They had a tough stretch, but then over the last, 3 games, 19, 8, and 10 FanDuel points, obviously coming off a great performance against Seattle where they intercepted Russell Wilson 5 times. Look at this one. Green Bay should be well in control even on the road. They put a spot where Chicago's going to probably have to throw the ball, which, I think is where you want them to be doing against this Packers defense right now that, to give you a little bit of upside and a little bit of a floor. I still think they're far below Baltimore in terms of cash game defense, but like if you need that extra 200 for something, Green Bay's in play this week.
I've decided on the bad weeks for Russell Wilson. I call him Russell Rilson. So Wilson. I like the sound of that. It makes him sound like a nerd.
Yeah, what a loser.
Yeah, nerd. Wears glasses and has suspenders on. Nerd. GPP defenses going at the Buffalo Bills here at 5,100 against the Browns. RG3 obviously went 12 for 28 passing last week. Corey Coleman hasn't really gotten much traction going in the deep area of the field yet. What are you looking at here?
Yeah, the one thing I hate the price. I really do, and I think you're going to get a general consensus that a lot of people will too. 5,100, the most expensive defense for a team that really hasn't even been a good defense over the second half of the season. They've been above 7 FanDuel points in once in their last 8 games. That just shows how kind of far they've fallen off. They're missing some guys up on the front end. But you're still looking here. Cleveland just presents that matchup where we've seen them give up tremendous upside games to opposing defenses. Giants and Steelers come to mind as 2 deep, late ones. And also with RG3 under center, that just adds to the extra upside they have. So Vegas isn't really particularly looking at the Browns to score a lot of points this week. Buffalo at home, which is important. I think they're just going to use McCoy in that passing game. Maybe Watkins has a shot at a deep ball, but mainly it's going to be the McCoy show. And I think you can pair up the Bills defense if you have some extra salary.
I'm with you. Another one down the line here. Chiefs at 4,500. They kind of give up a lot of yards. The upside is absolutely there. I'm just worried about DeMarco. What do you say about that?
So that's the thing. Basically, if you take out their touchdowns, which have just been an absurd number this year from special teams and defense, they haven't been a good fantasy defense. You look here, obviously this season, you look at their game logs. Double-digit FanDuel point scores in all but 4 games. It's been pretty solid, but they are giving up points of late. You look at this, you basically take Tyreek Hill out of play. There's a lot of special teams that go missing, but I can't argue the fact that they are a dangerous team in special teams. They do have some playmakers in that secondary. And that kind of gives a decent floor, but also, I mean, it gives you that ceiling as well. So 4,500, I think it's a viable shot to take a chance on. I mean, I know Mariota's been fairly solid in terms of limiting turnovers, especially inside the red zone. But Chiefs are still a relatively good defense at home. I don't expect this one to really be that high of scoring game. I think it's going to get pretty ugly.
Yeah, Mariota, 17 passing touchdowns in the red zone, 0 interceptions. Other than Aaron Rodgers, who's just absolutely running away with any red zone stats, he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Uh, New York Giants, a defense I'm on as well, 4,600 at the Lions, or not at the Lions, at home. What are you looking at here? Matthew Stafford, finger problems and such.
Yeah, banged up. I mean, going to be on the glove, whatever that means. I mean, basically, coming on the road, I think, is a different story. Possibly some bad weather in this one. Looking at Janoris Jenkins and how great he's been, just basically taking away that side of the field that he's on. Um, you know, just has been solid. So I think you look at this one, they match up really well. There's no real run game for the Lions. Theo Riddick banged up. They got two backups in there, Zenner and Washington. Haven't really shown any capability of running the ball or providing just a different game flow. So I think the Giants take care of the Lions pretty handedly at home, actually. I'm not really looking for the Lions to even put up much of a fight.
Wow. Now, you've been on this defense for a while, so them coming to fruition is certainly a good thing. If Stafford does play, I mean, it's tough to see upside for the Lions here. This is just a brutal matchup for them. Outdoors, going to be cold. Just a rough matchup overall. So I'm certainly with you there. Is there anything else you want to throw out there before we're out?
No, I think you got to stick in that mid 4K range. I think the Bills I put in here, but they're not a must play. They're not a must play GPP defense. Stick with that low 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7 range and pay up elsewhere.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, good luck with your lineups. Just 1 point worse than me. And, give us a like and subscribe on our channel. And if you want to check out this article, certainly head over to dailyfantasycafe.com and, give it a read. Give it a smooching. See you later, guys.